Welcome to the Willington Board of Education meeting. It is Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. That's in here for us. And we're calling this meeting to order at 7:01 p.m. We'd like to invite you to join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
The United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. We're excited to start this new year and January meeting with our Student Board of Education representatives. Welcome to everybody. Are we starting with our bees or falcons?
We're going with bees first today.
So,
you want something?
sure.
I mean, maybe so. With good. Who's up? You're on.
Royal bees. Sunday's royal bee character trait was generous. On Wednesday, January 7th, we recognized students in each class who exemplified generosity. We also provided January's trait of patience. The royalty, Mr. Tony, was our master of ceremonies.
Friday, December 12th was wear pajamas for CCMC Day. PJ Day for Connecticut Children's Medical Center is an annual fundraiser where schools and businesses wear pajamas and donate money to support kids with kids as a way to show that we care about them and support them. Every year, it is a major statewide event to help fund cancer research in our state. This year, CES raised $365. High school students are showing increased interest in writing, drawing, and playing while using a variety of different tools such as watercolors, paintbrushes, and dry ease markers. They have worked on strengthening their fingers and hands while developing fine motor skills. Kindergarteners are working on understanding addition and subtraction by counting two groups of objects. In this unit, students relate counting to addition and solve addition and subtraction for a problem with 10.
First grade. First graders studied the history of the earth in their most recent CTLA unit. They learned about the parts of the earth, minerals, and 3 types of rocks, fossils, and dinosaurs. On Thursday, December 18th, first graders went on a virtual dig and discovered dinosaur eggs. They used tools to carefully brush away dirt to locate the tiny dinosaurs inside. Second grade. On Friday, December 12th, second graders joined together for a festive art experience for a poinsettia project that tied into their CKLA knowledge unit on life cycles, especially the study of plants. It also connected to the winter holiday season. Fun fact, the colorful parts of the poinsettias are actually flowers. The bright petals are really special leaves called bracts, which help attract pollinators. The true flowers are tiny, yellow, and clustered in the center of the colorful bracts.
Miss Kemp, one of our substitute teachers and community members, shared the history of Hanukkah with a group of third graders. Third graders also made gingerbread houses using empty milk cartons and wrote stories about them. Miss Kemp, one of our fourth graders wrapped up their CKLA unit on the Middle Ages by choosing to be a lord or a lady or a knight or a serf or a craftsman. Then practice their writing skills based on what they chose. They wrote about what their life was like as that individual individual where they lived and what they ate. The final draft included a picture of their face on their drawing. CES art students created beautiful birch tree sunsets, penguins playing in the snow, and snowman and snow woman. In the library, students created a tree with the gift of words on it, including kindness, peace, and helpful.
Last week, the Willington PTA set up coin words in the CES lobby with Around the World as this year's theme. Each grade was assigned a vehicle. Pennies and dollars, dollar bills, and positive points, and silver coins are negative points, or sabotage for other grades. Coins either earned miles, other countries, or decreased fuel. Leaderboards were posted each grade, with third grade being in the lead on Monday. By the end of the week, the lead had changed multiple times. First grade ultimately won with 15,377 miles. They will have a pizza party to celebrate next month.
Yes. Oh, see if he's still sound. Should be. Who's up? Oh. Am I giving the play?
Yeah.
Okay.
In December, our choir held their winter concert. We heard from the chamber singers and concert players. Here's a sample. The following week, a band held a frightful Halloween-themed holiday concert. Many of our students elected to dust off their Halloween costumes for the performance, and we were dazzled by the great tunes.
So this is, students not here is going to talk about this, but at our first staff meeting of the new year, we rang in the new year by setting our intention for 2026. Each staff member chose one word to drive their goals and professional outcomes for the year. So some of our words include create, intentional, lead, and better.
El Dias Los Rejas, Three Kings Day, is a celebration in Spanish and in Latin America communities marking the end of Christmas festivities. Children leave their shoes out to be filled with small gifts, and families share a special crown-shaped cake to celebrate our fifth graders. had their own 3 Cakes Day celebration last week.
Because of the break, there hasn't been much school since our last meeting. This month, we want to enjoy or to share the board or what we are proud of or have enjoyed from the first half of the year. And what we are looking forward to or feel that we need to work on during the second half of the year. We're having fun with origami art. We are proud of winning coin wars. We love making glitter bottles. We love watching a movie on the day before Christmas. For grows, we're looking forward to improving our handwriting. And that we are excited to read fun books.
But for glows for sixth grade, we are proud of our grades. We feel like our art skills are developing, and we have great friendship. For glows, we know that we need to work on our time management skills. We want to keep developing our art skills. Math is getting more challenging, and we think that we can grow to that regard. We can always improve our grades.
For glows, we loved having our spirit week. And even though we are learning, our classes are a lot of fun. We are excited about learning new things in seventh grade, and that includes accelerated math and more studies, social studies in seventh grade. Things we could grow on. We are looking forward to learning more, especially in history. We're looking forward to our trout field trip. We're looking forward to our Big East choir and band field trip, and we can't wait for field day.
Some of the 8th grade glows and grows for 2026 include: we love our raw days in language arts, which are reading and writing days. These are days when students can get caught up on long-term projects or enjoy free reading or writing. We have a lot of students on the honor roll, and we are proud of our fundraising, which is pies and snacks. We have had great assemblies and guest speakers, and we have wrapped up a big project in our dystopian literature unit for language arts. For grows, we are excited about our Washington DC trip. We can't wait for our High Meadows trip. We are excited about both of the school dances, and in February, some of us are going to be gone. We are also hoping to improve student participation.
You got it.
Thanks, guys, that's awesome. I love the glows and grows idea. That's really good. Good mindset. Maybe we'll have to think about that a little bit. All right, coming up next is the PTA report. So if you want to know what's going on, you can hang around, or you guys can head home and get results. Go ahead, she's gonna tell you a different way. Thank you guys so much for going on bed or thank you. Yeah. Thanks you all.
Want to see a little bit.
Love it. All right, we're gonna go ahead to agenda item 4, which is the PTA report. The kids are very excited. They have a lot of awesome things going on, so.
Yes,
Yeah.
they sure do.
Keep it
So I couldn't get my printer to work. I'm not that technical on my phone. Yeah, like they said, Coin Wars is finished up. Just have a few quick updates for you guys tonight. Coin Wars just finished up. That's one of my favorite fundraisers that we have. Because it's a lot of like different strategies that they can use, lots of thinking, lots of sabotaging. So like it was mentioned, dollar bills and pennies are positive points and silver coins are negative points. So we have different aspects to it. So like Thursday was double positive points day. So I don't tell them ahead of time because everyone waits till that day. So I kind of throw it in the middle of the week, email parents and post on our social media platforms and all of that. Mrs. Cushing will put it over the intercom just so they know for the next day. So that's a big one, and then a lot of kids save till the last day. Is always usually a big one, but this year we threw in kindness cash. So obviously it's not all about like making money or bringing in money. I printed out a bunch of paper kindness cash. Ranging from $1 to $50, and whether it was a small act of kindness, you know, commenting on somebody's if they compliment them, or help them like pick up a mess, or sportsmanship and PE. Individuals couldn't make money, and then they just put it in their bin at the end of the day. They had to put their name and what they did, just because we at PTA love to hear about all the fun things, all the you know, kind acts that they do throughout the day. And then it ranged all the way up to $50. So like if it was a class effort, it could have been like a group effort, you know, Mr. Tormey or anybody, you know, if their class did amazing with like math one day or whatever, then he could have given the whole class like a bigger amount. And it correlated, like $1 was 1 mile. So $50 was 50 miles. And then at the end of every day, we calculated all the totals. We just took the positive points, subtracted the negative sabotage points, and then that outcome was the amount of miles that they traveled per day. Each grade had a travel vehicle. So like pre-K had just a regular vehicle, because most of them they get brought in by their parents. So I tried to, you know, we tried to correlate it to you know, per class. Staff, they were fire trucks, because you know they're heroes. You know, just you know, making it fun and interactive for the kids. So they each got a vehicle, and we had the laminated map at each school and the laminated vehicles. So then they would just travel, you know, from, you know, like to Europe and Asia and Africa. And so the kids were like, oh my God, we're traveling to Africa today. So like it was just super, you know, fun and interactive for the kids. So that's one of my personal favorites. Let's see. We talked about the holiday shop last month, but that was a great success. Every year the kids just get more and more into it because it's a fairly new program. I think this is our 3rd or 4th year doing it. So it just keeps growing and growing. And again, the volunteers make that, you know, that event possible. We just bought each school 5 heavy duty sledding tubes. So I would never ask for or want snow, but for the kids, I want another like snow so that they can use these. They're not like the blow up ones, they're like the heavy duty really good ones. So those actually just got delivered today, so they'll be coming tomorrow. So there's that. Our next event is our Hollywood glow party evening dance. So that'll be fun. February 20th from 6 to 8 at HMS. There will be a live DJ, a photographer to capture all of the amazing moments. Tom does a really good job with candids. He's not so much like, hey, I'm not gonna like you stand here and take my picture, but I'm gonna capture all the fun like candids, which is what we love. Our next PTA meeting is Tuesday, February 3rd at 6:30 at the Willington Public Library downstairs conference room. You guys know how to get a hold of us. WillingtonPTA@gmail.com. And just upcoming next year, all board positions for the PTA are open. So if anybody is interested, president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, we're starting to look now. So if anyone's interested, they can come and shadow us. We will train them just to get them going for the upcoming years. So if anybody's interested or knows of anybody that's interested, let them. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
everything
so
you're
much.
doing.
Absolutely.
I'm kind of wondering about the future of the penny.
I know.
Whereas
I know.
those
We're gonna have to
be
change
like
it around.
Yeah.
Serious sabotage points or.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. that'll be
Exactly.
fun.
Yep.
That'll be exciting. Maybe
Yes.
the kids will have to learn about what a penny used to be.
I know. We were worried about this year where I was like, I don't know if we're gonna get any pennies, but I got plenty of pennies. So,
Thank you for all what
thanks.
you do.
Yeah,
for us.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Item 5 is the chairperson report. I have lots of meetings this week, so please forgive me because I have written my notes for all of these things. Okay, let me welcome everyone to a special time of year when everyone in Willington can collaborate to plan for our future. Yes, that's right. It's budget season. Woohoo! We have learned over the years that people like to ask questions and make comments and offer suggestions for our portion of the budget, which is great. I ask that your ideas are shared during our budget workshops through email or phone calls to them before we present it to the Board of Finance. That way we have ample time to consider and make adjustments that reflect our community members. It's kind of hard when we're already meeting with the Board of Finance and talking to them about our budget, and then someone has a wonderful idea or asks a question that we need to adjust for. And then we have to go back and fix things, and that just gets, it's okay for us to do, but it gets a little bit confusing for everybody else. So knowing ahead of time would be great. Go ahead and grab your calendar or open up your app if you're cool like that, because here's our budget workshop information. On Wednesday, January 14th at 5:30, we're gonna talk about program 1, that's center. Program 2, that's calls. Program 4 has to do with transportation. On Wednesday, the 14th, at 5:30, we'll review the previous programs. We're gonna talk about program 3, which is special education, and that's a big one. Program 5 is health services. Program 6 is curriculum and staff development. Program 7 is utilities, and program 10 is fringe benefits and substitutes. Okay, that's gonna be a very exciting night. You don't wanna miss it. There's lots of them. On January 28th at 5:30, we will review the previous programs. We're gonna talk about number 8, which is operations and maintenance, and program 9, which is system-wide support. On Tuesday, February 10th at 6 o'clock, which is prior to our regular meeting that night at 7, we will review all of the programs if necessary. And then on the 10th, hopefully, fingers crossed, we will be voting in our budget and approving it. And then it will progress to the Board of Finance on February 11th. The Board of Education is presenting our section of the budget to the Board of Finance on Thursday, February 19th. So you've got a good hunk of time. There's a nice month there to get in your questions, your comments, your out of the box ideas. Really, please help and let everybody else know too, like show up, give us some thoughts, whatever you can do to help is great, because we know a little bit, but you know a lot. And we are all so excited to spend all this time together. Yay! It's gonna be great. Okay, next up, let's hear from you all. It's time for Present to Speak. You are encouraged to participate. Please make sure to state your name and address for the record. You'll have 5 minutes to share your ideas. Anybody in the room? Or online? Anybody for Present to Speak? Okay, we can catch you at the bottom of the meeting, don't you worry. Yes, sir.
Can I make a motion to add something to the agenda? Is this an appropriate time to do that?
I guess, yeah, why not?
Either to communications or to old business. I would like to make a motion to propose an executive session to discuss. Well, should I say what I want to discuss, or
We have to say what it is.
to discuss some correspondence.
Okay.
So you take a session for
I mean, I can explain it if. I think that in some of the correspondence we received, there's stuff that I'm not sure how to address in an open forum, and I would really appreciate some legal guidance about that. I'm just not sure what the venue is for that.
Okay. I remember what the parameters are. That's okay.
Bill's number.
You look it up. Well, does anyone want a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, let's see if it qualifies.
And call right because it's related to personnel.
Yeah, if you invite a personnel member, that's me.
I just want to bring up the point that I attended this with prior communications and it was shut down, so. It's point of order there. You also, just so you know, or you are aware, you need a super majority for this, it's not a simple majority. We need 5.
So. Just, I guess because I made the motion, I wanna make sure it's clear why I'm making the motion. I think that we have a lot of correspondence that's. Outstanding, and I am, as a board member, not sure. Where. And I feel like there's legal issues that are involved that I am not sure of, and I don't wanna make any missteps and have this board be. Not doing the right thing. So I am looking for legal guidance from our attorney. To figure out how to respond to the correspondence that we have been receiving.
Should that be in a future meeting, so
Yes.
she can be here?
Yes, for sure. That I'm proposing it to be put on the agenda for the next meeting.
Oh, well, I think we also need this meeting right now.
Modify that motion, and,
Oh,
cause it
sorry.
makes it seem like it's on old business or, communications.
Well, it is on both of those things.
No, but when you say on, you mean surrounding, not on agenda.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I was confused.
Sorry.
Okay, the future agenda,
Yes.
okay. I think that some of us thought you meant now.
No.
Tonight, so can you officially retract your motion?
Can I remake it then?
You can just request it.
Yeah,
just
you don't
request
have
it.
to make a
You don't have to
motion
do
for
it.
it.
You email it.
Unless you wanted it today, you don't have. to.
No. I just wanted, okay, the only reason I made the motion was because I thought I had to make a motion to put something on the agenda for the future. That's
No.
all I wanted, so if we can
That's
do
just-
it without that, that's great,
Yeah.
I take it back. I take it all back.
Yeah, you can just,
Email you, right?
uh-huh,
Okay, done.
or, there we go.
I will also email the board, because there's certain reasons you go to executive session. It's not just because you wanna talk about something privately. So you have to, it has to qualify, there's 5 reasons.
Okay.
I will share them with you on the book, so you have that.
I hear your concern that you're referring to, I think we all know. And so. Your feelings are heard and valid, and, probably other people are feeling similarly, so. Let's think about how we can help each other.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Communications. We have something from Ms. Oprek on here.
Yeah, and then with the communication from James McCoo that came to you that we missed as well. It came the day after your board meeting last time. It went to like all the Board of Education, Brenda said she sent it forwarded to you. All the Board of Selectmen, there was an email that was sent.
When something is sent to us, that's like on a thread of a conversation that's already gone on. Is that listed as a new communication? Or no, because it's just a continuation of a conversation?
There is the communication that says to the Board of Education. Or it individually lists out all of the members. It is a communication to the Board of Education.
Can you forward that to me? 'Cause I don't believe I have it.
I don't believe I.
What
found it either.
What if we receive correspondence that doesn't include all the board?
It's not a communication to the board.
that includes alternative emails as well, right? Like if it's accidentally sent to a different one. Cause it has to be through our town email.
Yes,
Right.
if we get an individual, should we forward it to Phil to have it dispersed to everybody, or is that at our discretion?
I would say the latter, but also it depends on who it's addressed to.
Hmm.
If the individual does not want it addressed to everyone,
Or the discrepancy?
Or if you want me to do something about it.
Okay.
I can't do
I
anything.
don't have anything, but I.
you can always share it too, like I'm happy to have that discussion with you and read through it,
I don't have one, it was a hypothetical. I was just curious in future. I know, right?
we love communicating, it's the best. Okay, good, now, we're on item 8, superintendent report, we've got several things to discuss, starting with our enrollment, how's our numbers?
Same, we don't have any change in enrollment, so the numbers for this month, so center school is still at 216 students. Paul's still at 164, district is still 380. We continue to have 7 outplacements in special education settings. Staffing, this is big news for you guys. I received a letter of retirement from my assistant, from Brenda.
Oh.
LaFemina Weber. She has given 30 years of steadfast service to the district. She started as the principal secretary at Hall. She served for two different principals. She moved on to the superintendent's office. She served 3 different superintendents. She is retiring in March. This has been kind of ongoing, like she wasn't sure when she was gonna go, and she just said, it's time, I'm gonna do it. She's been exceptional, unwavering dedication. She has that institutional knowledge that we talked about, that like, okay, when this person leaves to, you know, how do we make sure we gather all that information? She has a commitment to excellence, which is outstanding, and I appreciate that. Really 3 decades of just exemplary service, so she's a professional. And she is going to be greatly missed. The huge impact on this district and on the people that she's worked with. Obviously, I wish her well. And I will be trying to fill some big shoes.
Do you expect there'll be a celebration of her service?
I expect that Brenda will decline from that. I expect that if people want to send well wishes, she would appreciate that.
So we'll have to do a surprise party.
She will turn around and if you want to do something as a board, you could do that, and I'd like to support that.
Would
The
you
other-
come to a meeting if we had?
Probably not.
We'll find
I
out.
can ask her, but I just knowing her, she doesn't look for that public big expectation. She just wants to sail away quietly and good for her. The other big news, I had emailed you, Donna, Donna Latinsix, our business manager. She's gonna be out on family medical leave starting January 26th to care for her mother. I will tell you that I have been scraping for the moment I can get with Donna until she goes, because that too, we don't know how long she'll be out for. Obviously, family can be 12 weeks. And she is again a wealth of knowledge. So, Selectman McCoo and I, we worked out, we worked with the members of the business office to develop a contingency plan. And Sherry Naser, she's our current accounting assistant. She's gonna serve as our temporary business manager, and Brianna Knight is gonna provide some support hours for Sherry's position. That has happened already in the past, when the assistant business manager position was open. They asked if Brianna was interested, and she did, and she came over, and it went very well. So when Donna made her announcement, they were very concerned about having a temp, trying to train someone, trying to figure it all out, and they asked Brianna, and she said yes. So she's gonna be doing some support hours in there. Thank you to the members of the finance office. They are shuffling some of the Donna's work. It is a tough time with budget season, and managing a very tough budget this year, but obviously we wish Donna well, and we hope things go well for her. And so 2 major things in my world, 2 people I work very closely with. And then lastly, Steve Felino, HMS maintenance supervisor, he's back from being out on leave. We had a skeleton crew last week. I just want to say thank you to Travis Hart. He is the one night custodian that we had going last week, for both buildings. It was a challenging week. And we had Logan Allen, who was a prior student of mine, come in, and he started out wanting just to sub in classrooms, and he's been doing fantastic. So snow removal, whatever it is, he and Travis covered every square inch that they could possibly cover last week. It wasn't easy. We are still down, but we're managing. So I appreciate their support. This is like prime example of people stepping up and helping cover. I said if it snows, I might be out there with a snow blower. John, I'm sorry if that happens. I might be calling you and you might bring your machine down.
Yep.
Oh, poor John has to use his tractor.
Yeah.
But this is one of those where we are, just trying to ask Troy whether they're trying to cover roads. It's, if we have a delayed opening, that's where it is. We are gonna do whatever we can to make sure we can open. But being down is hard. So 3 big kind of staffing things.
Related to that, Phil, where are we with the transfer?
It's, I
talked
present the
about-
CIP tomorrow night.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
so they
we
have
haven't
the
seen it yet.
information, not yet, no, we'll be talking about it tomorrow night. The radon test, I shared the radon results with the school community on December 15th. Center School came back in the normal range, and Hall School had 2 locations that exceeded the acceptable range. That was the sites we expected after our first test. That was the boys and girls locker rooms and the offices that adjoin those spaces, so it's really 2 spaces. They have been closed since those results came back, the doors are locked. We have a meeting with a mitigation expert tomorrow, and then we have a meeting with a mitigation expert in, I think, 2 weeks from tomorrow, to get quotes for mitigation. I have been told it shouldn't be extremely expensive, and I'm crossing my fingers for that. We're hoping to have a resolution for that in the next couple months, 2-3 months. And I expect that we're gonna use the DRIP funds, that is the district repair grants. I was saying to John when he walked in today, that grant and the seed grant, which is the special ed grant, came out July 1, and we still do not have information from the state on how to apply or how to get those funds. So I'm hoping, I'm actually gonna reach out to Tammy and Joe about the DRIP grant, because that doesn't come through CSDE. I have a meeting on Friday morning about the seed grant. I'm hoping to get that information because it's time, we need that money, let's go. And that DRIP funds, those DRIP funds would be perfect for this, radar piece. The next item is the attendance. Oh, December was ugly. Our schools had, just like every other school, every other town, had some significant illness come through, flu A, flu B. It came through. And so you can see it in the numbers. The tardies were about the same for center. You look at the early dismissals, they were actually lower than other months. But when you look at the absences, 441 absences, over 17 days. It was significant. And there was it was the highest number of kids sent home ill as well. And not a lot of vacation days in December. The big issue was illness, and you're gonna see the same thing here in maybe hello mouse. No. In Hall, again, tardy school, not bad. There were more tardies than, there's still more tardies than I'd like at Hall that are beyond that 10-minute mark. But again, early dismissal's not bad either way. You look at the absences, 337, sent home ill 24. It was a lot. We are seeing a little bit of an uptick again. I did send a communication out to families and just said, FYI, this is going on, pay attention. It's not a shocker though. Now, when we get to the 5 or more absences, and again, this is cumulative, we have 83 kids, 83 students at center that have 5 absences or more. We have 19 students with 10 absences or more. And obviously, you know who those kids are, and we're tracking them. This report now is also shared, I shared this just to make sure they saw the data as well with our mental health specialists at both schools. So they can see the data if they wanted to review it as well. They look at their own, they know who the kids are, but just big picture. And then Hall, you have 64 students with 5 absences or more. And you have 20 with 10 and 1. So they're creeping up. Again, they meet, our attendance committees meet, they know who those kids are. And you know, they know where it's just, thank you for very much for the phone call. We understand your child's been sick. We understand what's going on. It's when we're struggling to get a student to school where we start to implement really other different strategies to help. So questions about this data?
No, but I believe it because it was similar, the illness was similar.
Yeah.
Neighboring districts.
I called
can't believe that.
neighboring districts and said, are you seeing this too? And everybody was saying. There were some classrooms that had 5 students in them. It was pretty rough. And I don't have another today. Nothing on my own.
Can I fill in another for you?
Yeah.
What is the procedure for determining a late opening? The reason I ask is that we go back to either last Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever day that was, in the morning. When it started to warm up and it was raining, and then it cooled back down. I alone got 4 texts from different parents saying, why was the school late? I went out, I brought my daughter to band, so I went out especially early. And even my trek, which is 6 minutes from home, my trek, I was slipping all over the place. How do you go back and forth with Public Works on that to be like,
Sure.
did you, is everything set to go? You confidence in your shop?
So there's a couple things. So we subscribe to a weather report through the town, and our weather report is actually a different company than the Mansfield Group. So the superintendents, we all talk in the morning, we text, we check in. So we share, theirs is John Bagoni. Ours is a different weather report company. We get road temps in our area, and we get, which is like the trucks can go out and tell you what the temperature of the road is, along with just air temps. And then look at the hourly forecast. My neck of the woods where I live actually happens to be typically worse. I'm on the Stafford side. That's a little more northern. Hall School typically isn't as bad, but as you know. I talk to Troy, we will go back and forth. Sometimes it's like, holy cow, it dropped below freezing and then they're just getting out. If they've been out and Salt's had a chance to work, we will go. I did not get any information from people concerned about roads. And basically sometimes I'll go out and drive the roads just to see what it looks like. And I didn't hear it. Usually I'll hear flack from bus drivers too, which fair, right? If I miss something. But we will go back and forth. The decision, because we work as a region, it happens early. So if Sharon has to make her call, I think by 5:15 in the morning. So we're typically talking at 4. I think I've had one instance on an emergency dismissal where we've actually had to freeze buses. We just stopped. It just had all buses pull over because something hit fast. All buses stopped, pulled over, put their flashes on, and then until plow trucks could get through and throw down some product. So occasionally that happens, typically it doesn't, but there's communication back and forth with Troy and I and the superintendents in the region to make that decision.
Has he said anything to you about the SALT budget hurting their ability to salt?
No, I actually sent him a text the other day that on my ride home, going up Losi Road, the road had more salt on. I couldn't believe how heavy it was, but it was needed. And I haven't heard any issues about not putting product down.
Okay.
Have you?
Well, it's not that I've heard it, but I've experienced it.
Okay.
There are plenty of corners in my area that really should have been hit harder that weren't. And my only point of that was, we have budget season coming up, and year after year, salt budget for Public Works is one of the things that gets cut. Now, if it cut to the point where now you're seeing dangerous examples for us, we gotta kind of advocate for another department to say
Yes.
this affects us as well, don't
Yeah.
cut it.
I know that he, I think he was down a driver and he had to contract another driver. But I think right now they're fully staffed to, the issue is it takes 2 hours to run a route. Right, so if you get a flash freeze or something and the road's wet and there's no product down, it's gonna freeze quick. That's why, I mean, anytime I've called Troy this year, they're already out on the roads or they've done it before, the night before. So I have not heard any issues, but I always tell people like, let me know if you hear something. And usually, to be honest with you, the teachers let me know, like, hey, that was a terrible drive-in this morning. The only thing I heard last week was, and this is my take, Center School's parking lot was fine. The sidewalks needed to be treated. Hall School's parking lot was a sheet of ice. And I think it's because all the cracks that are in the sidewalk, it froze faster. Or it's not in the sidewalk, in the parking lot, especially across the street, that one. And those sidewalks were done. And I didn't have a custodian in the morning, so I was out there salting. But it's a hard decision, and especially with ice arbor, I'm not gonna lie, like, I hold my breath sometimes, and Will usually, when it comes to ice, err on the side of caution. But Troy, I will tell you, in my time working with him, has been very accurate. Like the day, one of our students was giving me a really hard time at middle school lunch. She's like, why didn't you cancel school today? And we were joking around, and I walked her over to the door, and we looked outside, and like, look at all that snow, and there was none. Sometimes you just, the weather plays games and it's hard, but it's a hard decision, but that's what goes into it.
Okay.
All right, so let's take a look at our January financial report.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you that I'm getting pretty concerned about where we are. Okay? Don and I had a conversation today about the grants that are not applied yet. We're gonna get the grants applied, the non-lapsing, because I wanna see what this bottom line looks like when all of those things are done. Right now, in program 1, I'm gonna tell you, I don't feel comfortable filling the open staff support specialist position right now. Because of where the budget is, I will explain more in a moment. Once we put in, and again, this is big picture, so even if that budget goes into the positive, they still have some things that they have to do. Okay, so add the Title I funds, add the 4th grade seed funds that we're supposed to be getting. That budget comes back, right? Same thing with program 2, we have some money that goes into the from Title I. We calculated excess costs today. Again, we do this on a regular basis. And because our per pupil went up, we are spending more money before we are eligible for reimbursement. That matters because when you have 7 outplacements and you have to spend $121,000 before you get money back, we calculated it on a lower per pupil, based upon what we thought it was gonna be. And so that is really impacting, that's one, we're looking at that. And then 2, we're getting a good amount, the calculation the board, the state gave us was 72.5%. That's what we believe we're getting, which is good. I will take that. But it's still with a 7th outplacement that's now been encumbered. You can see what that program looks like. Everything's encumbered, even after you apply the additional excess cost that we think we're gonna get, which is maybe another $40,000. And you apply the non-lapsing funds, it's gonna be close. Transportation, minimal change. The encumbered funds were for a substitute nurse at Program 5, program 6 was minimal, program 7, we encumbered some funds for water. And then program 8, they did their fire inspection, so the fire extinguishers and the smoke heads, those all have to be done annually, that was encumbered. We encumbered funds for our E-rate consultants, so we continue to get our huge discount on our internet. And then minimal change on the fringe. Now, what I'll say to you around this is my calculations after applying all of the remainder of the grants. And I sent out a communication to my team today is that we are under 1% of the budget remaining to get through the end of the year. I like to be there at the end of the year. We are there early. I have not frozen the budget. But I have told all the budget requesters, you don't need it, don't put it in. If we can find a way to maximize the dollars we have and just exercise caution in your spending. Let's do that so we can get through the school year. I may come to you in February. This is where next year's budget matters, and I'm looking at your non-lapsing account and the grants that are supposed to be coming in from the state. I may be coming to you next month and saying, I really think you need to apply $75,000 from your non-lapsing account today to pay for the 7th outplacement or a portion of the 7th outplacement so that the other programs can continue to function. This conversation really came to a head today as we were finalizing budget and the state sent out their numbers and we started to look at everything and go, okay, we're not getting as much as we think. And the per pupil went up. It's a perfect firestorm. So I'm monitoring this very closely. You know that this is one of my items that, when I say we're under 1% now, this is where I stop my spending really at the end of the year. If there's something needed, we're close. This is very, very tight. And it is because of special education.
Had we budgeted for that 7th?
No, we budgeted for 6 because we knew 6.
Okay.
The 7th was new. Obviously that'll impact your budget tomorrow when you get your packet tomorrow as well. But right now, so just to give you the where my reality is, you're looking at a deficit right now on your page of $279,000. I'm adding in now the $100,000 that is already planned, so that brings you to a negative 179. I'm adding in all the bulk title grants, the 30,000 to 37,000. I'm taking that, saying that we're gonna get the seed, that's gonna wash away the 40,000, that's the hole in 4th grade. That's how we're paying for that. That we're gonna get around $40,000 to $50,000 in excess cost. That brings us to like 0. So when I say it's very tight, that's why I might ask you to apply the additional non-lapsing funds. I sat with Donna today again, and we went through this again. We believe we're gonna have about 130,000 in that account after applying the 100 to next year. And what you may hear me say is 2 things. 1, you need some money for this year. You might need to apply some money this year, and you might need to apply some more non-lapsing funds next year beyond the 100,000 to keep your budget down.
Is there any percentage in having a discussion about going to the Board of Finance for the outplacement?
I will be very frank about this. Don and I had a conversation about this, and I think it's always been stated that you have a non-lapsing account for a reason. If you deplete that non-lapsing account and you don't have that money, I think you should attack that first. And you just didn't have to say, we have no buffer now. If it goes beyond that, because tomorrow, just if you remember, was it 2 years ago when I presented to the Board of Finance? It was the second night and I'm like, oh, by the way, we have 2 new outplacements. Sorry, you have to add another $350,000 to the budget. That can happen. So my response is, I don't think so at this time. I think my recommendation, you get to decide, it's not my decision, I'm giving you my recommendation, would be to utilize your dollars that you have in your non-lapsing account first. If you do that, and I may come back to you, Jen, and say, right now, this is dire in February, and you need more than what's in your non-lapsing account to be able to not freeze everything out. You still have contracts you have to pay. Right, there's some things that are still not encumbered, the majority of it is. The things that remain are things like PD, which is contractual, some of those items. You still have some supplies that you have to do, so. My answer is not at this time. If in February it's worse than I thought, it could be.
So here's my worry about that. When we talk about needing funds, an outplacement is something that is tangible. It's not something we budgeted for, it's not something we anticipated, it's an expense that is over and above what we had in our plans. So that, to me, is something that we could kind of advocate for. I see what you're saying about, we have the funds in the non-lapsing account and we should go to that first. I am concerned about then if we deplete that fund, going to the Board of Finance and saying, well, we have to do all of this other stuff. And then the narrative becomes, well, you should have budgeted for that. We can talk about going back and saying, well, this is what we did with that money. But the story is already out there.
What do you mean should budget is for that? Which part?
Like you just talked about the PD and the contraction.
It is all budgeted. That's what's being used to cover the special ed shortfall.
I know that. So my point is I'm just probably not making myself clear. The outplacement is something that we could go to the Board of Finance and say, this is not something that we planned for. We didn't anticipate it. We have the money that is in our account currently is for these particular items.
Yeah.
We need help covering this particular outplacement, or, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
As opposed to covering the outplacement with it's maybe chicken or the egg, but covering the outplacement with the thank you, non-lapsing funds, then we go to the Board of Finance and say, well, we have to pay for the PD and we have to pay for all the things that we're paying for right now to cover the outplacements.
Yeah.
And it might be semantics, chicken or the egg, I don't know.
It might be beneficial just to let them know too.
Yes.
Just to say, like, we have an additional outplacement. This is, the budget is, I mean, this is super, super tight.
So could we do could we as a board, or I don't know how it would come, but to the Board of Finance for them to read, or I think it's important that it's out there that this is something that the Board of Education is doing.
I can easily do a communication on behalf of the board that just says, we have a 7th outplacement, we want to let you know, we're doing what we can to cover that cost. However, we still have other things we have to pay for as well. We may be coming to you. It leaves the door open just as an FYI.
Giving them a heads up kind of situation.
Yeah, and if
I feel
you,
like that's important.
if you don't end up needing it, then the challenge here is every dollar that you use for non-lapsing that you don't next year is an increase in your budget. So, unless it's used for an outplacement for a student that graduates, you have to, if you don't, so say we apply 100 this year, we don't apply 100 next year, and it's the same group of kids, you're up $100,000. If you apply another 50 this year and you don't budget for that next year, you're up 50,000. Does that make sense? It's something that this is a puzzle. We have a little bit of time, but I'm sharing with you so you know that. you're gonna have to determine which way you wanna play it, and I can give you the full non-lapsing report next time.
That would be great.
We did it, we ran the math today. I wanted to see the budget with all the grants applied. And they're just running ragged over there because everyone's trying to get to their budgets. If we can run this budget with all of the contractual items that are, trash, water, whatever, encumber it. So that way we can see what we're gonna have to spend. You can't do without those things. For any outliers, we just did Microsoft today, $5,000. Take it off the bottom. Right? We have to do those things. And add the grants in and then see where we're at and then see what the recommendation is. And then you can determine if you wanna leave your non-lapsing alone, if you want, and you're gonna learn tomorrow night, you're gonna see what it looks like. So I've applied $100,000 next year. You could apply more if you spend what your 130 that you have left now. Next year. You may choose to do that instead. And ask for Board of Finance this year. That's part of just which is the best way to do.
Could we keep the 100,000 for next year and go to the Board of Finance at a later date if we need to? Even knowing that there's still 100,000 in the lapsing fund?
You could, and they could say, how much do you have your non-lapsing fund, and then they could say no. That's just the way it works.
Yeah.
Right, and because your non-lapsing fund is, I mean, it's something that it's a number they can get, it's accurate, right? And that's one of the purposes of it. So if they say, if you said. You have $10 in there. They know you don't have the ability to do anything else. And you're not gonna make up, you're not gonna make up $100,000 or $50,000 in a cost in supplies. It's gonna be a person mid-year.
Can you give us the existing state of the non-lapsing tomorrow? With our packets for budget?
Yeah, and I think the document I went back to, Arthur, was when you did it in, it's not really different than October or November.
Okay.
But I can easily update that so you can see it tomorrow night.
Okay.
Cause it's just adding the addition to it. You approved about 135,000. It puts you at like 230. I applied $100,000 into next year's budget. It brings you back down to 130. And that's literally about ballpark where you are today.
Okay.
And so that's where part of me is saying. Part of that could be for now, part of that could be later. You could spend all now, you could spend all later, you could spend none of it and keep that as your buffer, it's your outplacement placeholder, you could go to the Board of Finance, those are kind of all the scenarios you could run.
Yeah, I just would rather have these numbers and then that number too.
Yeah.
There too, so
Yeah.
I can look it up too, it's back from when we did it a couple months ago.
Yeah, I'll pull the same exact thing, we'll just put the, that's easy, yep.
Okay.
That question gets asked a lot when we look at our budget summaries, what's in the non-lapsing, is there a way to just add a little blurb to the bottom of this document about like. Where we're at, even if it's kind of best estimated? I think that question comes up pretty much every time we have these out,
So each month,
yeah,
You're saying on the monthly budget, Doc?
yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you just stick at the bottom, we understand that it's,
Yeah, cause it's really your only extra account, all your grants, I mean, you have $775,000, I think, applied in grants to your next year's budget.
all right, that
It's
would be
a
great, if it
crazy
could be
number.
added on there, then we can stop asking you all.
Yeah.
Did anybody else have anything to say about John's suggestion? I see what you're saying, it's a much like neater package too. Rather than saying, hey, we offer all of these different puzzling, these piecemealy things that we said we could pay for and we can't. As opposed to saying, this is new, we have these other responsibilities you knew about, we need help here. I get that, that's a lot cleaner.
I understand what she's saying, but I feel like they would tell us to use our non-lapsing fund.
And the solution that, to send kind of correspondence to the Board of Finance, letting them know what's happening, I think is the first step.
just let them know.
Yeah, probably anytime there's like a major hit that we weren't expecting or something tremendous happens that seems really tricky for us to manage, we probably should give them a notification of some kind. That will help them understand our day-to-day, like our month-to-month big things that are going on and how we're trying to fix them, because oftentimes we're in those budget meetings explaining all of the grants that are being applied for and all the grant money we're able to use and all of the ways Phil's like mixing and matching things to make it all work and ways we're having these discussions to figure out how to cover everything, like maybe if the Board of Finance members understood that in closer to real time, they would all be just more comprehensive when we're in front of them at budget time, so that's probably a really good, it's definitely a good suggestion. Thanks. All right, thanks, Phil. Regarding new business, we received meeting minutes from the December 9th meeting.
Yeah, we made a mistake on the agenda. There's no minutes of 15. That was just a discussion. That you can, if whoever wants to share, you probably should share that, you were there, but we wrote minutes and just meant discussion.
I haven't. Something that was.
All right, hang on. I make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes from the regular meeting December 9th, 2025.
Second.
Okay, discussion, go ahead, Tracy.
The discussion is, tomorrow's meeting date was not included as a budget date meeting. Doesn't say January 14th and number D on page.
What does it
It
start?
says January 21st is the first date.
Oh, okay. The meeting minutes should reflect an edit or addition stating that tomorrow night's special budget workshop meeting is not listed for the date of January 14th. Good catch, Tracy.
Only
Anybody else?
because I didn't know we we're having a meeting till the agenda came out and I was like, oh, okay. Guess I'm going to meeting Wednesday.
You sure are, and you're excited.
Cause I had looked here to find it.
Good, okay. Anybody else? All right, all in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, approved, passed on. Okay, so yeah, on December 15th, there was a meeting with, let's see, Sharon ran it, the superintendent of Region 19, and other board members were invited, not just Board of Ed.
No, so there was the town, what is he, like the finance manager of Mansfield. There was the Mansfield rep, Greg Haddad. There were a couple other Region 19 members. There was a superintendent from Ashford was there. Bill was there, you were there, I was there. There was a first select woman from Ashford.
Right.
Yep. Nobody else really from our town. I think it was a conflicting meeting. But there was so luckily, there was not a discussion, it was a free lunch. It was there briefly, but it really focused on what we've been working on. And that is changing the way the budget is calculated, the town portion is calculated for the Region 19 budget from a strictly per pupil per year basis to a 3-year rolling average. This doesn't save the towns or cost the towns any additional money. What it does is it provides a much more stable base to prepare the town's budget around, because the region budget goes with our budget, goes with the town budget. So if we have an influx of kids that go into the high school, we have an influx that we have to pay. And there's a lot of contention around the past couple of years, it's been Ashford. And there's a lot of contention around bringing the budget down artificially to bring that number to a specific level for one particular town. And it's coming at the detriment of some of the programs, some of the teachers, and some of the experiences for the students. Doing it this way gives towns a projection of, I think we're in the $4.7 million range-ish for our portion. And that would be like one of those things where instead of being 4.7 1 year, and then we get an influx of students, and now we're kicking in 5.2, so we go up a significant amount of money. And then a bunch of them graduates, and then we drop down, and now we're at 4.6. Like, it's a crazy up and down. It really doesn't affect Mansfield very much, they're pretty steady, but it affects Ashford and Willington a lot. This just is you had 107 students, 109 students, 113 students, so you average out to 110. So that's what you pay. It may be a little bit more one year, but the next year it's gonna be made up for with your decrease in students, or your increase in students, whatever extra you paid balances out over those years. It's a lot easier to do than we thought it was. We thought they'd have to go all the way up to the State Board of Education to have it fixed, but it's not. They have to go to the individual towns. Each town has to have a referendum, and then if every town agrees to it, then it can just be put into the charter. And it changes going forward. It's not gonna happen this year. We're hoping to get it squared away for the following budget year. Sharon is more than willing to come talk to everybody, if you'd like to have that. The other thing is Tim, who's on Region 19, has a fantastic set of charts. Explain everything, make it very clear, and easy to understand. And I believe, Sarah volunteered, Sarah Smith. I think she volunteered to talk to First Selectman McCoo about the whole situation. I think she's talking to him first, but she might be talking to the full board of selectmen. I'm not positive. And then we'll probably end up having a town meeting about it to schedule a referendum and allow the referendum on it too. So there's a lot of resources to present to make this clear to everybody that it's not it's a budgeting tool. It doesn't cost or save money really, but it makes it a lot easier to know what we're gonna have going forward for that high school, because that part of the budget always seems to get forgotten. And we have to keep kicking a couple $1 million up there every year.
Still voting.
Yeah.
So this way it's a lot more steady and you can plan for it a lot easier.
I would love to, either talk to Sharon or see those slides.
Yep. So if you're rolling averages, it would be next year's expected coming in.
It's 3 years and I can't remember the direction Tim went. I think he went forward,
Okay,
but I think he went forward. I think he went projected forward.
yeah, 26, 27.
27.
Oh, yeah,
I think so.
okay,
I think that's what he did. He included, I think, the current year and then 2 future years.
Yeah.
Are we gonna use our proud study?
No, projected for
What is
the existing students.
what we know today.
Yeah, we can choose, so.
So would the amount each year be steadier?
Steadier,
Okay,
yes.
so we wouldn't have a very high year and then a
Yep.
very low, but every year, so we would know what to expect every
Yep.
year. Yeah, okay, I think that's great.
Can you share why that's important for this board?
Well, it affects our budget. I mean, it affects how there's always confliction, I guess, in this town with the education budget, which always ends up being just us, but the education budget is actually 2 parts, it's us and it's region. So let's say we have this situation now where, we go up $100,000 in our budget to Board of Finance. Now suddenly we have high class of 8th grade students and 20 additional students shoot up to Region 19. That's another $200,000 that we're gonna have to, plus that we're gonna have to kick up there now too. So now our budget it goes up here because of this thing, and then it's gonna go up for region because of those 20 students, where if we knew 2 years ago, those 20 students would be there, and that got rolled into that average, it wouldn't be a hit of 220,000 right away. It would be okay, you're gonna go up 17 this year, 18 this year. It's one of those kind of things where it's coming, so we're gonna start paying for it now, kind of like we do with the $1 million for the 5 years. This thing's coming, let's start putting away for it now, let's start getting it going now, and it's much less of a shock when it hits the town.
And I think a big part of that too is when you're sitting in front of the Board of Finance and you're talking about your pre-K-8 budget. There's a loss of control for Region 19. You don't have the votes there. Because it's multiple towns, and so that leveling may help some of those spikes where when you get a spike and you have a tough pre-K-8 budget. You're not going to, it'll level it out, because if they're both bad in a tough year, they're not cutting at Region 19. you're cutting pre-K 8.
And that-
Because that's the one they see as the control.
Yeah, that loss of control is a very important thing, because as long as the town of Mansfield has an average number of voters vote for their budget, it's going to pass, no matter how much you don't want it to down here, it'll pass. So,
That to me is the most important piece of it. Because that's where,
Be cut.
What's the
By
rule
us.
again, if it passes Mansfield but not the other two towns?
the budget or this suggestion?
The budget, yeah.
It depends on how many people in Mansfield pass it, as I believe Mansfield has a 60-ish% of the
Oh, wow.
vote, so. So for example, last year, I think Ashford only had 100 people vote for it in their budget, they didn't have a lot of people vote for their budget. It failed here the first time around, and there was about 60 or 70 votes in Mansfield that carried it through. So as long as there's a number in Mansfield, as long as it's a specific number of Mansfield residents say yes, it goes.
Yeah.
And you kind of have no say because of it's a weighted voting system.
right, and then the cuts hit this budget. That's the
Cut that budget.
No.
We didn't touch that budget.
No, and Sharon does her best, she does her best to try to keep it low for the towns, but like I said, I mean, we fought last year to bring Ashford's portion of the budget from a 10% increase from them to a 9.9% increase. And they cut $103,000 worth of teachers' aides. And I had a problem with that, because to me, the 4 Ashford reps should be able to go back to the town and say, yeah, it says 10, or we can cut it to 9.9 and it's under 10, but you're losing 3 key pieces of the school, and they didn't want to do it, so this would help that, where it wouldn't be. If you look at some of the budget books, it's Ashford has really gotten hit, they had 10 last year, but
Did it start higher than that too, I think?
Ashford was in the 16 range
Yeah,
last year.
some crazy number.
So, but that's what I'm hoping to eliminate, is that you know what's gonna happen, you can plan for it, we don't have to make drastic cuts like that.
Can you imagine if you had the rebound and that
Don't talk about that.
and zoinks. All right, well, yeah, it was an interesting conversation. It felt for me, even playing field regarding the different members of different groups in different towns, which was really nice. Sharon does a really good job of that, putting everyone at the same table. Which is great, and I really do think everybody have the best interest of the students first and foremost at heart. And really giving some thought to understanding that everybody's struggling, everybody's trying to put this all together, so. We'll kind of see how that goes. If Sharon and her, like Tim, are gonna get a hold of the selectmen, that's probably where the presentation would happen, not here.
So, well, here's the thing.
Couldn't it go to the town?
So there's a ad hoc subcommittee that's gonna be approaching the boards of selectmen and the town council and Mansfield. It's not gonna be Sharon and Tim. If you want, I don't think it would be a bad idea, and we really don't start our budget discussions until mid-February. So I think Sharon would be more than willing to come down next meeting if you wanted to hold a special thing, and she could run through it and show you the slides and everything. I don't have them on me. Tim distributed them, but I don't have them with me. But I think she'd be more than happy to do it if you want to take a look at it early, and just so you know what's come. So everybody, sorry, I say you, my apologies. Everybody knows a lot clearer than I'm explaining. You can actually see the visuals, and Sharon's pretty in the lead within that way. You know, it's something else to advocate for through budget season, because we do want to try to get this going as quickly as possible.
Is there a time frame for that, like where?
I don't know. I know they're trying to get the referendums quickly. I mean, they're shooting for a May referendum.
Okay.
Whether or not that happens, I don't know. But I think that might be their time frame, that they feel that that's enough time to get everything rolling, and then
6 months of planning to
Yeah.
go when it comes, yep.
I
That's
think so.
for next,
Next budget, yep.
Right.
so I wouldn't wanna touch that until after we're all through and done.
Well,
So as not to get people confused about what's what.
the only thing is if they're shooting for a
To
May
get
referendum here,
And then,
like, well, they're shooting for, it's gonna be right around the referendum time for the budget anyways.
mm,
So if you wait till the end of our budget, it's almost too late, cause what they're trying to do is already on us. It just depends on whether or not you wanna get kind of an advanced peek at what's gonna be presented.
It sounds like it's important that we record it too, because residents will wanna see it when they're voting in that referendum. So they understand.
They'll probably do another one at a town meeting about it, so
Okay.
that would be my guess.
Okay.
But it's up to you. I mean, I'm sure she's willing to come down, so.
I think it sounds like a great idea.
I'm feeling like it should go to the town and we can support it as like a side buddy, just so it doesn't get convoluted and mixed up like Bill's saying of the education budget, but maybe that's not the best approach, so.
What if we had a joint meeting with the Board of Selectmen and even the Board of Finance that affects them?
I mean, it's not my first name either, so we can continue to talk about it other times or whatever you guys wanna do.
I think an advocacy point at some part of the process from this board
Yeah,
will benefit you because of the impact in the budgeting process. So even if they go to just present to the selectmen, if they were to go that route, or they were gonna come here, there should be some letter that comes out of this group, in my opinion, that would then say, we support this, here's the reason why we support this, this is the impact we've seen for boards of the K-8 side of the pre-K-8 side of our budget. If the board felt that way, I think the advocacy piece would be good, so people understand, like, you're on board.
yeah.
Do the slides, are the slides able to stand on their own? Like, is that something that we just review and understand it without?
Yeah.
Cause I just think that's a big ask for Sharon to come and talk to us if there's a presentation that we can just look at, and then if we have questions, we can.
I mean, I could do it too, it just depends on if you wanted expertise or her expertise. I could grab them from Tim and they're not hard to show, because they're very well done. So I could do it too, if you wanted to do it on next meeting and just wanted me to point some stuff out, I could do it too, but I just figured you might want to hear it from Sharon as more of a, the different advocate for it, I don't know. But yeah, I could do it. Not hard.
I mean, I'm happy with that kind of presentation, in that we can just see what's coming, because that's not really necessarily the formal presentation won't necessarily be to us, it will be to the town. So if we just have some advance notice and have an ability to kind of have a back and forth with you, the person who's been there, that to me is sufficient, but I don't, again, one person's.
I can grab Tim's list.
Is that what you wanna do?
I'm down for whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think just having a like a pre-presentation if we were, and then we would still go to the town presentation, similar to having a presentation about the costs of a new building project. We saw that first several times, and then we saw it as a bigger group with the town. I think it's a similar thing where we have to understand it first before we're in the middle of a meeting with the townspeople asking questions so that we can support it.
Cool, all right. Okay. So that will go on the agenda for next time. Okay. Oh, that's for, yeah, okay. We are on to agenda item 11, old business. Letter A is the school building committee. So I have a little blurb about that written down again because. All right. The school building committee might be old business, but it has a new and improved motivation. The first meeting of the SBC will be this Thursday, January 15th at 5:30, and it is hybrid. The agenda is posted online. Information from the former SBC is available online too. Here's what happened. The Board of Selectmen, with the help of an interview team, has assembled a group of 7 members and 2 alternates. The members are Adam Brewer, Jeremy Brothers, Adam Zalonis, Jim Marshall, Liliana Borelli, Anne Grosjean, and myself. Lisa Eaton and Peter Bacon are listed as the alternates at this time. Anne is filling the role of public member, correct? Okay. And I'm the temporary representative for the Board of Education and also filling the role of chair until the committee votes for a permanent chair at their first meeting, which is on Thursday. Because I am willing to help, but I'm definitely not trying to run the town. I really want it to be clear that the first selectman asked me to fill the role of temporary SBC chair to get the ball rolling. And he knew very well that someone else would be swiftly appointed to represent the BOE after the first meeting. I asked all members of the Board of Education to express their interest. And I am appointing Samantha Sperry to the School Building Committee as the Board of Education representative effective January 16th. And I have communicated this with the first selectman. Sam expressed interest in this position. And I think given her now 3 years on the BOE and as our secretary, her professional knowledge and also her really great out of the box thinking style, she will represent us well and bring back information that is thorough and detailed for us to consider. So thanks, Sam, for stepping up. Good luck to you as our designee. We appreciate you. And again, just another quick shout out to the public. Please participate. Please help. We're in a very short timeline regarding this project. We need all hands on deck. So get in your questions and participate as much as possible. Please, please, please. I am certain that all of those agendas will be posted as usual. Meeting minutes will be taken as well. Video recordings, I assume, will be happening. Well, they have to because it's hybrid. So we will all have access to all that information too. Bill will be there as, what did you call it?
Ad hoc, whatever you wanna call it,
Whatever.
a non-voting member.
Non-voting member who's participating in that group as well. I guess maybe you're like the, what did you call it? Institutional knowledge position is probably what we should say. And Sam, you're our official representative. And of course is there as a public member, but obviously she wears multiple hats. And the more of us that can be at meetings, view meetings, review meetings along the way, the better, I think, because while they're doing all the work, we're a very important supporting task. So
Sam, do you want me to find out if you need to be sworn in?
she will.
Yes.
Okay.
I asked
See
the
you.
selectmen to get in touch with you about that.
Okay, do you know if that's always gonna be is there a set?
I think it's Monday through Friday.
I mean,
From
like,
5 to 10.
the meetings,
No.
the
No, not really. I think they're roughly really 11.
Every third Thursday of it's gonna be a meeting?
That
or
meeting was meant to be occurring on a Monday originally, so
Find out. on
I don't know yet. Once
Okay.
you, on the agenda is actually scheduling future meetings.
Oh, okay.
So, that'll probably be handled there.
Okay.
All right, well, let's go SBC. All right, next we're looking at the 26-27 public school draft calendar, which I think we've already looked at once. My question was, did you align the April vacations with the other districts? So that was something you were gonna look at.
Yep. Sharon today?
Cool.
Well, okay, yep.
Okay, I think we're ready to do a last review and vote tonight, so everybody can take a gander and see what you think. Last time we talked about November conferences. We talked about childcare being provided for certain days. We talked about the purpose of professional development.
I really like the long February time. We had talked about when we talk about absences and families wanting a chance to get away. And not taking them out of school time. I think that's a nice block where in February where families could take some time.
I'm just gonna need a motion.
Yep.
I move that we approve the 26-27 Willington Public School calendar.
Second.
Any other discussion or question? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That's everyone, so this calendar is officially approved on January 13th, 2026. Which it will say on the bottom, and support. No, Brenda's last calendar. Oh, that's so sad. Brenda. No, she's like, she's amazing. All right, we are down to present to speak. If there's anybody in the room or online that would like to participate, please go ahead, raise your hand. We'd love to hear from you. Questions, comments, concerns, they're always welcome. We love it. Anybody? Anybody is on? Present to speak. Oh, yes, ma'am.
Rachel Cook, 77 Common Road. I just wanted to say Happy New Year to you guys. I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday. Hopefully this budget season will go a little smoother for you guys than it did the last one. I did watch all those, so it looked a little rough and bumpy, to say the least, so hopefully transparency and consistency can get through to everyone who needs it. And is there a way for people who don't watch the internet to get copies of like the meetings? Like, we can like email to them, or are they readily like available like on the website or anything? Like the meeting minutes and agendas and stuff?
Yeah, of course.
The minutes are on the
We-
website.
Okay.
Mhm.
Cause I do have some people that have been like, we can't get access to the meetings to view them like on the internet or anything, so I'm like,
Okay, it's still to get minutes,
I'll ask.
certainly. I, if not, just
Sign
let them.
up, yeah, sign up. Mine, we're going to spam, my spam.
Okay, so just
So,
double check
so,
them.
yeah, it might be in there if they're signed up for it, then I get it.
Okay.
It gets a little tricky because different groups have different recording secretaries too, but they all get sent to the town clerk.
Mhm.
Yeah, so she would be the one to ask those questions too, maybe too. Awesome, thanks, Rachel. Keep your ear to the ground and send in your comments and questions. Anyone else for present to speak? Okay, cool. Board comment. It's our turn. Did anybody have anything you wanted to say or share?
Yeah, I'm advocating for the safety of relatives to completely get rid of budget season. Because 2 years ago, my mom passed away. Last year, Bill's dad passed away, and now Donna's taking care of her mother, her mother who's not doing so well in budget season. And I blame it all on budget season, so I'm advocating eliminating budget.
Second.
Third.
Motion carried.
So best of luck to Donna, because some of us know just how difficult that is, especially in the city.
It's really great that she has the opportunity to
Yeah.
lead in it. That we fully support, of course, this one just. Anybody else?
I mean, it goes without saying, thank you to Brenda for everything. I will miss the texts. She'll still have to text me anyway.
I'd also like to say thank you to Brenda and wish her a happy retirement, and welcome back to Steve. And thank you to Travis and Logan for covering. And it's great that the town works so well together, people that are helping Donna out and all. So it's wonderful that everybody works so well together in times of need like that. So thank you all.
I have a comment. I just want to say thank you for choosing me to be on the SVC. I'm sure that there was a lot of other interest within this group. And I'm looking forward to being in a new group with fresh faces and new information and new opportunities, and we're hopefully working collaboratively for what's best for the town and the kids and the future kids who end up going wherever they end up going, my son included. So I'm excited for that new venture. So I appreciate all the kind words you said about me and your opinions of me and trusting me with being representative of this group on that new board.
She's gonna do great, right?
Yeah.
And
And
we
you
all
bring,
know that.
and you bring your expertise.
Yeah,
That's really important.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you've got your little guy in the back of your mind too,
He
so
will be
that's
the
important.
one child that attends.
we'll see, yes. We'll
Yeah,
see.
by the time it's built, if it's built, yeah.
Yeah, right. John or Tracy, did you want to add anything or are you good?
I'm good, thank you.
I'll just second what was said before, you know, best wishes to Brenda. I don't even wanna count how many years I've worked with her between PTA and Board of Ed and before I was on the Board of Ed, so she will be missed for many reasons. And but best of luck and enjoyment in retirement and best wishes to Donna. As she helps her family members and, you know, and thank you, Steve, and welcome back, Steve, and thank you to the Travis and Logan. And I hope this budget season is smooth.
For working together collaboratively and having positive attitude and seeing, looking for opportunities for us to spread the word and get people involved. That's something I think we could probably do a little bit better. It'll take a little bit of extra work, but, let's see if we can make that a little bit of a stronger effort this time around too, so people can understand what's going on.
Big banner on the website, budget season.
I still want t-shirts, desperately, you know I do. Can't we just stand outside of every event and get some, get the van? We'll paint the van. Okay,
We could have a
Or
special
not.
magnet for.
yeah,
Yeah.
we could write on our cars with the paint, okay.
Yep.
yeah. Yes, send in yours.
Yeah.
Got our flag flying on the back of that.
All right, we are ready for an adjournment, we need a motion.
Move to adjourn.
Okay.
Jen, Sam.
Sam, 8:27, all in favor?
Aye.
38. 37 is a meeting, might be.